Yo people, what is going down? It's DJ Ash Noble here. Um, Welcome back to another stream. It's been a little bit of a while. It's been like on and off since I've like really been doing many streams and stuff like that. So we got a few like updates and things to go over in this stream. I kind of just wanted to come live and um, just sort of update you guys on a few things. And I thought, we'll do it now as I've got a bit of time on my hands. So first off, like, why has there been a lack of streams? And obviously, if you follow me on like Facebook and things, you'll know that I've been like doing some like gigs and things. And why have I not been, like talking about them on lives and things? Well, to cut the story short, just over a month ago, my internet got cut off, so I've not actually had proper internet. So everything like my Facebook live streams, like they've all had to stop. I was playing on like two different pages a week, and then I was doing lives on my own page, and I had to stop doing all of them because the Wi-Fi went down, and I've only been sort of relying on mobile data, and I have to kind of make it last. So if I was like coming live most days, it would drain the data. And I've, trust me, I've actually gone through a lot of data this month, and I've actually had to like buy add-ons and things because the data's just gone. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm sort of using it as the equivalent to using my normal Wi-Fi. So like, I use it sort of in some sense just as much, but also not as much because obviously I'm not using it on the PC and stuff. But like I use it for all my Facebook and things like that. And when I do come live, it's obviously through the data. So yeah, so that's why I've not really been coming live. I haven't been updating like where I'm going and where I'm playing because, like I say, I just I haven't sort of wanted to use all of my data up because I've had to kind of make it last, and what I've kind of got, I have to use it wisely. And streets, like I say, streams do actually delay them. But without that being said. This weekend I was playing in Leicester for DNA at Boxed. It was a Halloween party, so it was coming fancy dress, and it was a banging night. I think I did announce I was playing there. I think I did. I think I did do a stream, and I did say that I was playing there. And I tried to do a stream the other morning. It was the aftermath of the stomping, but I had no data and I was tethered to a tablet, and the data actually ran out on the tablet. So unfortunately, you know, I just, I haven't been able to do things. But the weekend was belting. So it was DNA. So I've been with DNA a couple of times now. This was my third time. And the guy who runs it, Nick, he is a sound person. We have such a laugh going down there. We have a lot of fun. And a load of us, we met up before the event and we went for a meal. So that was nice. It was a nice meal. And we just sort of chilled and had some food before the event, and then we got messy at the event, and got all raving into the music. So it was a pretty big event for me, because myself and the layman, we'd been working on a new remix. And we got the track ready, and for the first time that anybody was going to hear the track like fully complete and completely finished. I was dropping it in the club. So in my set, I was playing the tune in the club for the first time, and then after we played the tune in the club, the full track would get released and uploaded onto YouTube. It was set to premiere at 10 p.m. So it was quite good. I was on 9:15. It was a 45-minute set. I was B2B with a guy called Craze, and he kicked things off, and then I took over, and that's when I dropped the tune in. So it was it was really good to drop it. There was a really good reaction for it, and it was belting. So literally, we dropped the remix and stuff. I was also on the mic as well that night, and also because with it being Halloween, it was fancy dress. So I was thinking this year, what do I actually go as? Now, obviously, Halloween wasn't really a thing last year because of the virus and everything. So this year, so the year before, I went as Desperate Dan. I had a really good Desperate Dan outfit, and there was a stomping on, and there was a trance rave over at the old schoolhouse, and I went in this Desperate Dan outfit. And I got absolutely pissed, and parts of the costume just went missing. Like I had some toy guns that came with it, and there was some other bits and bobs that was that just ended up going missing. I even ended up losing the mask, and it had also been raining a bit as well, so it got a bit wet. So in the end, I put the rest of the costume in a bin. So this year I was thinking, like, what am I actually going to go as? And I actually decided that I was going to go as a zombie granny. And I know it sounds a little bit weird, but if any of you remember my other YouTube channel, I used to do a series called Park Drive Drama, and I voiced a character on there called Noreen. And the character originally comes from a Benidorm character called Noreen. And I got the impression of the Noreen from Benidorm, the voice that she does. I actually got the impression quite well, and I could actually do her voice quite well. So when we did Park Drive, I decided that I was going to I was going to have a character in the show that would use that voice. And then over time, I just sort of changed the voice to be sort of more like my own. So it wasn't as such like just a direct copy of another character's voice, like an impression as such. And then it just sort of become my own sort of impression. And to be fair, I'm still quite good with the voice now. So anyway, so I decided that I was going to go as this zombie Noreen, and I was going to dress up as this zombie granny. So yeah, that obviously meant that I had to like wear women's clothes. I had to put a dress on and shit. But I thought, you know what, it's Halloween. It's a bit of fun. And I had this, as you can see here, this is the Noreen wig. It's like an old granny's wig. It's just an old lady's wig. It was actually in a bun. There's supposed to be like a bun like this at the back, but it come unclipped. So anyway, so cutting the story short, I dressed up as this zombie granny. Now we was obviously going for a meal, and there was nowhere for me to get changed. So I had to literally get changed before we set off to Leicester. So there's me dressed up as this zombie granny, and I had to sit in an all-you-can-eat buffet. And I had to wear this. This like dress, and I looked sort of like a granny, but I also looked like just a person that would wear women's clothes. So it was a little bit embarrassing. And then to top it all off, I actually left the makeup in my friend's car, like the stuff that was going to make me look more Halloweeny. So I ended up just straight on looking like a guy who wears women's clothes. So it was a little teeny weeny bit embarrassing being in an all-you-can-eat buffet, and there's family of people just there having a meal, and then I'm like walking around, sort of like youngish man, sort of in like old women's clothes, and it was certainly embarrassing, but it actually, as a costume, like at the gig and everything, it actually went down really well, and people was there was laughing at the voice and the impression. So I was actually really sort of like pleased with how it turned out and how I actually sounded. So I was buzzed about that, and then literally it just topped the night off and made it so well. So yeah, it was an absolutely banging event. So that's obviously what's occurred, and that's obviously what's gone down. So I was very buzzed about that. I was actually really buzzed that was the thing. Um, and that it went down so well, because I wasn't sure what people was gonna think. Because in some sense it didn't really look Halloweeny. It just looked more like fancy dress more than Halloweeny, but it actually went down quite well. And then on the Saturday, I was invited to a friend's house last night. They was having a little bit of a Halloween party at his girlfriend's house, and he's having his decks on. So he said, come over, come in your fancy dress, and we're having a few drinks, and we're getting the tunes on. So I was obviously a bit like, all right, yeah, I'll come over. So I had to get dressed up in it again. So I rock up at this Halloween party, and I'm meeting people that I've never met before. As I'm meeting some new people for the first time, and I'm getting dressed up in an old lady's dress and shit again. So it was definitely a funny, but again, like a slightly embarrassing sort of weekend for me, as I obviously, felt a little bit embarrassed, but it actually seemed to it seemed to go off quite well. So I was actually quite pleased. So that was quite good. So that was it. That was the gig. So next up for me, there's a little something on the 26th of November. I can't say what it is yet because it's not been physically announced yet. It's nothing massive, but it's just a little something I'm going to be a part of. It's just a little party I'm going to be involved with. But it's still like a booking for me. And it's still an event as such, but it's just it's actually, all I can say is it's for a birthday party, and I can't actually say too much. I like to leave things until the flyer gets dropped. But then on the 27th of November is the big one for me. It's the return of Bounce to Your Drop for their second event, and I'm in room 2. So I will be making more streams about that going forward. Providing I can get connected up to internet and stuff. But yeah, that's like next up for me as far as events go. I've got a couple of other things as well that are just sort of not really like gig related. Like I've been invited to a joint engagement party. I've also been invited to another birthday party that's just at a friend's house, but I'm not certain if I can attend it yet. And I just got to check my availability, because that's me nowadays. 2 years ago I could have just said, yeah, I'll definitely be there, because I was barely gigging. Whereas now, I seem to be doing so much, and if I'm not gigging, I'm often going to events and sort of like promoting and taking photographs with the layman. So it all just depends really what goes down for me. I'm not just that sort of like guy who can just be, can just always go to places. Sometimes I have already got something else booked or planned, but that's just how it goes. I hate letting people down, but sometimes you've got to be the guy that lets people down, and sometimes it's a respectful thing to do. Like if you can't make something, you've just sometimes been truthful and honest. Might be a bit disappointing at the time, but it's better than like lying, or better than like sort of like when there's no hope, like giving false hope to people. A good example is I'm supposed to be in Weston-super-Mare this weekend. I'm supposed to be emceeing for a birthday party, and I can't make it. And I'm just going to be honest and say I can't make it, because there's no point giving people false hope all week and then telling them at the last minute that look, I'm not going to be able to come, kind of thing. But sometimes these things just happen, and you can't always go to them all. And sometimes especially like birthday parties, you're not really going to get anything for them, because in some sense they're not. They're more just, they want you down because it's their birthday. So you can't, it's their birthday, you can't really expect them to pay you. so you don't really get much out of it. But you know, because of like I live in Hull, it's quite a fair way down, so you know it costs quite a lot to go there, and then you've got to think of your food, your drink, staying over, your travel, you know, so it just becomes one of them things. But like I say, I've got a few things that are not music related as such, like not in the way of gigging. Like you know, I've been invited to a birthday party, as I said, which I said I'm not sure if I can make it yet, but obviously there'll be decks on at that night, and you know, obviously, you know, I'd be able to have a mix if I went. So you know, I would essentially be DJing. I just wouldn't in you know, it won't be a gig. It's not in a club. It's, you know, it's just at a house. It's like a house party, and all of that. So obviously moving on, you'll have noticed as well that I've actually changed the YouTube channel name to my DJ name. And I know that might disappoint, might upset a couple of people. Believe you and me, I've really not really known how to go about this, but because I know a lot of people, you know, I was MC Noble, and you know they love me as MC Noble, and you know I'm the bad boy G that spits bars, and I've stated in, you know, in a lot of streams before how people think I'm the bad boy G, and people prefer me to MC as opposed to DJing. But sadly, DJing is just, for me, it's my ultimate passion, and I ain't giving up the MCing. You know, I'll still, like I say, I MC in nightclubs and stuff like that, but the DJing side of things has taken off, and it's been doing well for me. Even the production side, you know, like learning to produce on FL Studio and stuff, it's actually doing it's doing really well for me, and I feel like in my heart I feel good, and everything feels right, and I just feel like the DJing is working for me. I'm getting a lot of bookings from it, and I'm actually getting a lot further than I was with the MCing, but the MCing definitely gave me a push to get me back into the DJing. So I haven't given up DJing as MCing as such, sorry, but in some sense I kind of have. So like, you know, I won't really be promoting my MCing as much anymore, but if people want me to MC, like if they're booking me somewhere and they say, look, can you do the mic as well, I'll do the mic as well. But you aren't going to see me like posting all these like freestyle videos anymore. You know, that them days are dead and gone. That part of MC Noble has died. It's dead in the water. But if people want me to MC at an event or at a party or anywhere I'm booked, then you know I will happily do it. I've got no you know, I've got no sort of like I forget what the word is. In other means, you know, I'll do it. Like you know, there's nothing that will make me say, look, you know, I don't really MC anymore. If people want me at an event to MC, they've got me as an MC as well. People want me at an event just to MC, I'll happily do that as well. It's just like I say, I won't be like pushing myself as far as like putting these freestyle videos up where I'm like spitting for like 1 minute over a rap track. But that doesn't, you know, that doesn't exclude the use of studio tracks. So if I'm like spitting bars over a studio track that's getting recorded, and it's getting like edited in the studio, and it's got proper good quality, and it's not just me propping my phone up and I'm spitting bars in my room, you know, it's proper good audio, there's an album cover for it, or a single cover, and it gets, you know, released on Layman Productions kind of thing, then that's all good for me. You know, I'm happy in that sense. But yeah, so I changed the name just because I really want to keep promoting and pushing the DJing side of things, and it just felt right. It felt fitting for me to change the name now. You know, at first I was a little bit curious because a lot of people were, you know, was calling me MC Noble still, and although that name's not died and I don't want it to die, I kind of wanted people to know that I am DJ Ash Noble as well. So I wanted to kind of bring the Ash Noble name more into the light. And the reason why I went with Ash Noble for DJing, the first reason was is my MC name was just MC Noble. So I thought if I went DJ Noble, it would be a little bit boring. So I thought if I go Ash Noble, it just gives it a little bit more. You know, you've got that sort of name on the flyer, Ash Noble. And it sort of worked out quite well. But the second reason is there's actually a guy in Scotland, a Makina DJ, actually called DJ Noble. And a couple of years ago, a flyer got shared about on Facebook to a Makina event in Glasgow. And there was a guy on there, this DJ Noble. And people actually thought it was me. Because late 2019, I was just getting back into the DJing. So people thought, oh, you know, is this actually you? Or people, I think at the time it just said Noble on the flyer. I don't think it said DJ or MC, but it was in the DJ section of the flyer. But I think people just saw the name Noble and instantly thought it was me. So I thought, you know, when I'm actually like proper sort of pushing the music, DJing wise, I thought Ash Noble, you know, it was the thing to do. It was the name to go with. So that's why I've changed the name. But don't worry, because MC Noble most certainly isn't dead. And if I do get the urge where I feel like I want to come back and start, you know, spitting freestyles again, you know, I'll do it. You know, if I get the urge to do it, but it's kind of that, you know, you've got to do something if you're enjoying it. And I was getting bored of it, I'm not going to lie. And, you know, sometimes, you know, it ruins a track as well. Believe it or not, like, you know, you find a good beat and you think like with that good beat, you could put, you know, you could actually write like, a, you know, proper full verses and you could spit over the track properly. Or you could, you know, or you could just ramble a little freestyle over it. And it doesn't sound as good. Like, for example, I did... you know, the Scarborough Beach. But now, like, if I ever really wanted to record, like, say, a proper studio track, it wouldn't really work because people, like, you know, people know me doing Scarborough Beach over that tune. It was, you know, it was one of my most viewed freestyles. So it was a, you know, it's a little bit like, you know, so it sort of put me off really. I thought, you know, and I got more like professional with my music. I thought, you know, I don't need to prop the phone up in front of me and, you know, just spit over a tune, you know, where the audio just sounds terrible. You know, because there's no direct sound and it's just literally me spitting over a tune in the room. So yeah, I got bored of it. But if ever I do get the urge to come back and do that sort of thing, you know, I'll obviously definitely do it. You know, something I'll definitely do. But other than that, at the moment, I am just going to be sort of more promoting myself as a DJ as opposed to an MC. But that's no hard feelings, and you know, and I do apologise to people that still want to follow me as an MC, or people that, you know, sort of wish that I would like sit there and, you know, I would bring out a new MC video kind of thing. But sadly, you know, it's just not going to happen until I want it to happen or there's a reason for it to happen. You know, and it was getting to the point where I was just doing one for the sake of doing one because it had been a while and I wasn't really putting thought and effort into it. So it wasn't really sounding as good as probably what I could do if I actually sat there and thought about it and actually wanted to do it. You know, when I did things like Job Centre and Scarborough Beach and the Neighbour's Arse, you know, I wrote about them. I spat them, I enjoyed spitting them, I shared them about, I enjoyed it, I buzzed off of them. It was exciting. When I did the Dole Dosser earlier this year, which I think it was one of my last ever freestyle videos I've done, you know, I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it like you know, like I used to. And that's when I sort of knew that I was kind of like losing my motivation for it and losing my passion for it. But that's just it. That was just the way it went. But anyway, people, that is more or less it as far as the updates go. So as far as the internet situation goes, I'm not sure when it's going to come back on. That I'm aware of, the bill wasn't paid. My mum usually pays the bill, and I think I think a payment's been missed or something, and they've cut us off because the payment's been failed to be made. So I think that I'm aware of. We've just got to ring them up and pay the payment. But we've had a lot of other stuff going on that we've just not been able to afford to do it at the moment. So hopefully I will be back soon, and when I am, I'll be back streaming again. There'll be them sort of like streams where I'm on FL Studio. There'll be them streams where where you won't see me, but you'll see a flyer, but I'll be talking down a mic kind of thing. So don't worry, they will be coming back, and also I'll be back coming live, and I'll be doing some DJ sets as well. So keep your eyes peeled for them, as it's going to be, some good times ahoy. But I'll keep you updated. I won't be coming live on here much. I'll just do it like now and again because I don't want to like cream. I don't want to just run up all the data, because once it goes, I've only got to buy add-ons, and if I don't buy add-ons, I don't see what happens on Facebook, or if someone messages me, I miss the messages and I don't get the messages in time. So it's a little bit annoying. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit like, if I don't get the messages, people are trying to get hold of me and I haven't got a clue, and it actually drives me insane. I'm sat there wondering who's messaging me. What if I'm missing something important? What if a big booking's coming through or some information about one, and I can't read it or see it because I've got no internet. So, like I say, I don't want to cram all of my data. But like I say, I'll keep you updated. So anyway, people, that's going to do it for this one. Make sure to like, make sure to comment, subscribe and share, and we'll see you next time.